Back now on Triad Today, and there's a topic that's been in the news for the last couple of years a lot, immigration. But something I'd like to explore right now is juvenile immigration and do it with an expert in that field, and she's with us right now. Next to me is Roselyn Torrellas, attorney with Fradin Attorneys at Law, and we had a little discussion beforehand because I wanted to call her Roselyn, and she said that's what most people call her too. So, you know, I might call you anything by the time this is over with.
There you go. As far as it's nothing bad, call me.
No, I won't call you anything bad. Born in Venezuela.
Yes.
And here now, and I just think I'm glad that you're here. But now tell us something. You emailed me something with a phrase, and I want to ask you about this phrase. You said something about Special Immigrant Juvenile Status.
Correct.
What does that mean?
So SIJS for short, that is a status that provides certain children undocumented the ability to seek for legal permanent residence inside of the United States.
Okay, now who exactly can apply?
So it have to be an undocumented child, and that the court has found that one or both parents have abandoned, neglected, or anything similar with law, provide the custody to someone else, and the child is not in their best interest to return to their home country.
One or both parents. So
Correct.
a single mom, let's say who came up from Nicaragua with a child, and they said, well, the husband's gone for some reason. She can apply, or does she have to have a sponsor to apply, or what happens?
It will be the child who will apply.
Child technically applies.
Correct.
Okay. Now, give me an example of a couple, not in detail, but there are a lot of steps involved. You told me one time, a lot of steps involved to this process. Give me an example of a couple of steps that you have to go through on this.
So step number one have to be a custody order that the child has been granted to given to someone else. It could be a individual, it could be a state, or an actual place, okay? That's the first step. The step number two, once we have the custody order, then we have to do a self-petition with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS for short.
Right.
And then step three would be to actually apply for the legal permanent resident for that child.
What are the benefits? This might seem like a stupid question, but what are the benefits of obtaining this special juvenile status as you enter this process? I mean, what's the benefit of it?
The benefit of it is that when you apply for legal permanent resident, there are certain inadmissibility, such as not being able to self-sustain or not being able to enter the United States legally. So with an SIJS, you don't have to worry about those.
Now, when we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I'm just curious, you're talking about a child. Would that be somebody under 18?
Correct. So for North Carolina, to do the child custody portion, you have to be less than 18.
Under 18.
Correct.
And at what point, I mean, can these children who are applying for this status start on a path to citizenship right away, or what happens?
So once they get the legal permanent resident, they will have to have it for 5 years, and then after that they can apply for citizenship. It's as any other person. You have to prove good moral character, you have to prove that you do not owe any taxes, that you're inside of the United States, that you haven't done anything criminal. So it's like anyone else.
Why do you look at me when you say do anything criminal? That's just...
I mean,
I
all of us do something at some point, right?
No, I'm just picking at you, but you told me something off camera. I wanted it because we have just a minute left. You said something about how long you had wanted to be an attorney. When did that start?
5 years old.
You were 5 years old and knew you wanted to be an attorney.
Yes, I just didn't know which kind, but yes.
Yeah. Now, why was that attractive to you at 5?
First, my dad tells me I wanted to be an architect, and we talked about how that's more male-oriented in Venezuela. So I said, an attorney. There is a lot of injustices happening in Venezuela, especially being a female and a male. So I just changed a little bit the path here, and I became an immigration attorney.
I'm so glad you did. Up on screen, I want to share some information with the audience. Fradin.com for the radio listening audience. I'll say it again, Fradin.com. Or you can call their main number, 877-978-3218, to make an appointment and find out how to get to Roselyn. And I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for being here. We'll be right back.